So why is right now one of the most important times, maybe one of the most valuable times, to have the right financial advisor on your side? Well, as of today, March 11th, the S&P has corrected more than 20% from its high just a few short weeks ago to what it is today. It was, or the Dow, I should say, was above 29,000. Now, as of today's close, it's around 23.5. So we're seeing right around a 20% correction, which officially makes it bear market territory. Now, a bear market is nothing new, but what we have to keep in mind is that we have to keep the historical perspective in mind when we look at these types of things. And we also have to look at the critical decisions we have to make as investors when these times come about. So looking back at the S&P back to 1945, it has returned on average 11%, a little bit 11% with dividends reinvested. And if we look at that period, it has corrected on average 14% every 12 months or so. And then every 5 years, on average, it'll correct about 30%. And sometimes it's more than that. Every once in a while, we'll see a 40 to a 50% correction as time goes on. Now, each one of those times the S&P advances, and each time it pulls back, it presents a critical moment to investors. And that is where we're talking about today. We're in that point right now where we have some decisions to make. Are we going to change what we're doing, or are we going to stay the course and know that this part of this is expected? So the right financial advisor should be there to offer you the right perspective. So the right perspective is one: are you investing the right way? Are you investing according to the goals of your life and not trying to guess what the market's going to do? I mean, nobody saw this coming. So we invest according to life and financial goals. Did you have a plan in place ahead of time so that we know what to expect, so that we're allocating money based on time horizons and how much you are willing to risk? And then is your advisor offering that perspective that at times like this is when we need to stay the course if you're on the right course. So assuming you're on the right course and you've done the goals, you've done the planning, that's where the proper perspective comes into place. As we look at a study that Lohmar did, and they look at 20-year rolling periods of what investors have done over time, and they found that the average investor tended to underperform a simple S&P 500 portfolio by as much as 4 to 5%, depending on what 20-year period you're looking at. So I consider that one of my most important roles to my clients is being that person to keep the perspective in mind to prevent that 4 to 5% underperformance of a simple portfolio. I consider the investor's behavior to be a critical part of the investment process, and that's what Lohmar is alluding to, that during these most critical times, whether it be a new high or a pullback, a correction, that the investor behavior is a critical part in staying that course. So that's what I offer. That's why I think right now is one of the most valuable times to have the right financial advisor on your side so that you have a course and so that you can stay that course and you know that it's the right course for you. If you're sitting in cash or you consider liquidating or you already have liquidated, believe me, it takes courage to invest right now. It takes courage to stay invested right now. We get that. But without the right plan, without the right guidance, it's even harder to do. So that's why I think having the right financial advisor at a time like this is one of the most valuable things you can have on your side. I'm Dan Lohmar, CFP professional with United Wealth Management. If you got any questions for me, shoot me an email, dan@unitedwealthmanagement.com. I'll be glad to listen to what's on your mind.